Ha assembly mentagasngi ha kapor ba uba rowel lingdo menteri katangat an ulamut banwara ya kanega bill balatip kum prevention of disqualification members of the Legislative Assembly of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2015 kibabon kita khot kiyeng kentup ya kalyang persya balyang sensyar kilayang ban papaw ba kimpat sngoy ha banwara ya kanega bill ya mendahi Dr. Don Kupal Roy ulong bakapor kampat biang banwara ya kanega bill bat khamtam ha kanega kam balang sakut apo kayang bisar jong Meghalaya High Court bat kumtaw la kentu yak sarkar ban sange shwa uba polling do MLA ke UDP ulong ba persya banwara ya kanega bill henry hapej la ka don jing sisa ni banwara menta namar ba khot ki basya jit kidai ki basya jit kapor ba ka an kam khang ki bakin long MLA ni MDC te kumno on chuan ra no ha padeng siteng lenti da ka an ka ban khang lat eki uba kipi paniang uway na kibabat bat MLA bat MDC ulong banalor bakani kakam kadon hapo yimisha ula kentu yak sarkar bakan ajing tip khambha yaki halor kajingyat kajingtian bisar hapo yang kasiri ula kentu yak sarkar bakan numle kerki yak ni kakam uba pensian NCM MLA MDC ulong ba kajing kam yak ni kaan kalong kumathop ikipat ba kibala jet yu kumu MLA bat MDC ba yaki way de kibala jet lang kum MLA bat MDC ha juga por ulong bala da kam yak ni kaan deban kam anda lakut kani ka katem bamenta jong ki MDC ula kentu yak sarkar ban ra shwa yak kani bill shak select committee uba met ba lingdo MLA MDC ulong ba persya yak kani bill henry ulong ba kapor ba Wanrah ka penklumar jimut ikipat ba henry ula penpau ba usngolong pop ban bat arkam bat penpau ba ude uriu lalot henry ha kapor bu yang ban yakun MDC kamsim la don setia ka jingkhang la dakaan ba ulaya thu ba unse kendu ikipat ba nong jet jong u banyaklan halor kani ka kam uba aden bersaimet MLA MDC ulong bau syaptiang balara umperiang ya kani ka bill kipai ba kin kino bagi dikiriu ko abor hatu kani ka Wanrah ka sarkar ya kani ka bill ka syong nongrem ni kum ha kani ka por ulong bawat lada yala dia ularai ban e no ya syuki MDC namar ka jingban khia jong ka kam kani usngolam ya ka jing sngo jong ki weipat ki para dokhot ki bamat ya kani ka jing uba HB nong state MLA MDC ula kentu ya sarkar banu por Wanrah ya kani ka bill henry ban ailad ya ki MDC balong MLA ha ka juk opor bakin penkut ya kani ka term bamenta khanang manumbu jing ikipat ba u Dr. Didi Lapang MLA nongpo ula jingmut baya kani ka bill di banwara shwa shak select committee Dr. Mukul Sama ulong baka jing Wanrah ka sarkar ya kani ka bill dai namar ka yang bisar kal aipor hadu arkna terik menta ubnai banjumap halor ka mukut duma yakin nong mikmat babat arkam hapo ka arkna terik ulat kejela u hapsim ya karai layathu umenti romba ulaya thuru bahaswa banwara ya kane gabil ka sarkar kalapet bahaya ki kendongan baja selok ru bat ki reusat an khanang bakanum khata ya ka jing bisar jo ka Meghalaya High Court hadian kane ka jing pin inia usong konor iti mandal ula ailat yu barowal banwara ya kane gabil bat ka jing yakran la on minjor ne kantat kanlong la shai sngi.
Sir, we all know that we followed the rules always, our rules, what we call as the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Meghalaya Legislative Assembly. We always follow the rules. Sir, according to the rules 132, which we always followed in our assembly while taking up any issue pending the court of law, we are not allowed. Even if we raise a question of public importance, even if we raise a question relating to the livelihood of the people in the state, we are not allowed because we see it is sub judice. We all know that this case relating to a dual post held by MLAs and MDCs, the matter is under consideration of the Honorable High Court, Meghalaya. If the bill is introduced and accepted, what I'm afraid is that it's not that we influence the decision of the court. In fact, we are giving the ruling by the Assembly on the issue which is being under consideration by the Meghalaya High Court. Therefore, sir, I feel that this issue should not be discussed in this House. Let us wait and see what would be the ruling of the court, sir, on this issue. That is my submission, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, this whole interpretation has been examined by the Law Department, and in as far as this case is concerned, the Honorable High Court has already given direction to the Honorable Governor to take a decision and inform the Honorable High Court by 29th of this month. And this is the status.
I am not aware about the details of the direction of the Honorable High Court. Perhaps it would help us if we know the details of the direction. But still, I feel the timing on the enforcement of the bill, even introduction of the bill, is not will not be appreciated by majority of our MLAs here, who most of them, some of them were also FDC in this council. So perhaps I think when the court direct the governor to give his views, the views may be given in a different way, not by amending this, the Prevention of Disclosure Act of 1972. It should be in different ways, sir.
Sir, in this case, we are only following the legislative matter, sir. We are not referring to any of this thing. Of course, if, as our Honorable Chief Minister has informed, that the court itself has advised the government to take decision on this matter. They have advised the government to take decision on this matter. So, therefore, the government thinks that since it is a legislative matter, it is probably right for us to bring this bill, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to support the motion moved by the Honorable Opposition Leader. At the same time, sir, I am one of the victims in this matter. All along, the matter is lying in the Honorable High Court. So we expect that the government of the day have to give us sufficient information, whether in a legal manner or in a legislative manner, sir. So I request the government of the day not to take in a hasty decision to introduce the bill, sir.
In fact, myself, so I have little submissions. In fact, sir, I am not against the good intent.
You are open to make any submission, not little.
Yes. In fact, sir, I am not against the good intention of the government to have one man, one post. But, sir, we feel very sorry. We had been misled before we filed the nomination on 2014, sir. In fact, if there is no entry 9 in this very act, we would not have been filed, sir. So we feel very bad because we are the victim person, sir. So my point is this: the enforcement of the amendment, sir, it should be at least after the completion of the term, sir. That is very logic, sir. So my second point, sir, not only misleading me, sir, entry 9 has been misleading lakhs of the people. All of us, we went to the booth for election. So why not seek the opinion of the affected person, sir? Yes, we have 8 affected persons here. Seek the majority opinion of the affected. That is as per democratic practice, sir. Number 2, sir, I request my colleagues MLA, yes, cabinet they already passed, but I think they will review on this issue, sir. Because I have nothing, sir. Otherwise, it's good. I also appreciate the good intention of the government. But, sir, regarding the things in the code of law, let them decide, sir. Because we will be affected. We will be responsible. So, sir, I think this is not the good, the time is, I think, is not very sufficient, good time for us to take a decision. Sir, it creates many things in the mind of the people, sir. Especially during this time when we have so many things to discuss. Just recently, sir, we see the Chief Minister. Very nice meeting, cordial meeting. We will come to a conclusion. So when this kind of amendment come to the House, we damage the mind of the people, sir. So my points are, I just only request not to introduce the amendment bill or send to the select committee seeking the views from the stakeholders, that means the 8 MLAs, affected MLAs, seeking the views of lakhs of voters, sir. I feel very bad for the electorate, sir. Seeking the views of this electorate, sir. If they agree, why not? We are for the people here, sir. I speak for the people, sir. I'm not speaking for my self-interest. So my point is, I humbly request the Chief Minister and the Cabinet not to introduce. If you introduce also, make sure that sent to the select committee to seek the opinion. Let the court decide, sir. Because I doubt the mind of the governor or the mind of the court. Seeking the mind of the governor. Governor will seek the mind of the government. But I understand, sir, the aspect of the case. It is MDC MLA. At least some view from the discussion also should be taken up. Not only one-sided, sir. So I have no problem to discuss. We have no problems. Because it looked very bad, two people, one person to hold to post. But because misleading by this entry, so sir, I think it does not look good. My point is, my humble submission, suggestion to the government, the Cabinet, Chief Minister, and my colleagues also. I think we should not be in a hurry. Let us not introduce, or let us send it to the select committee to seek from the stakeholders, to seek the mind of these 8 MLAs. Not only us also, sir, we have to seek the mind of the, I was voted by 9,000 in Mausandam. I have to seek the mind of 9,000 people, sir.
Not 9,000.
Thank you, sir. I humbly request the government to review this issue and not to reduce, or if there is also to send the select committee. And at the same time, I request my colleagues MLA not to go in line with the government for this amendment bill.
Okay. So, I fully appreciate the need to have this kind of legislation in order to prevent dual membership of this House and the EDCs. However, a point that I would like to make here relates to the very vital ingredient of our democratic practice, and that is it fair or is it unfair? Sir, as all the members of this August House are well aware, the members who had filed their nomination papers seeking election to the district councils have done so at a point of time when they were legally not barred, not prevented from filing their nominations. And in fact, they have undergone the entire process. They have filed their nomination papers. Those papers have been scrutinized. They've been allowed to take part in the elections. And suddenly, this kind of a legislation is brought forward. So, is it possible, if a football team is allowed to enter the football ground, and after 30 minutes of play, the referee tells the teams that no, now you stop playing with your feet, use your hands instead? Is it fair or is it not fair? They have practiced with their feet, and suddenly you tell them no. Now you start using your hands. The rules of this game have changed. So, sir, I think I would appreciate if, as my other esteemed colleagues have argued here, yes, we need this legislation, but please give it prospective effect, not retrospective effect. Make it effective from the date of the expiry of the term of the current councils. Make it effective from that point of time, and we will support this kind of a bill. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I have made my submission, proper due diligence have already been done. As a matter of fact, every legislative initiative, every legislative measure that the government takes is based on proper due diligence from all perspectives. And therefore, appreciate the submissions made by some of our members, including the Honorable Member of West Ceylon, Yes, those can come as a proposed amendment to the bill. And we will see whether we can take cognizance, and then after discussion of the proposed amendment, we can take a call. But the fact is that I have placed it before the House. The timing is appropriate, and this particular legislative exercise cannot be further delayed, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Sir, in addition to what our Honorable Chief Minister has mentioned, yeah, I think we also feel that punch as far as this amendment bill is concerned. But I think, sir, since the bill has been brought, the first stage is introduction. And the second stage is whether to pass it or to refer to the select committee. So my humble submission here is, let us introduce the bill, and we still have time tomorrow, either to pass it or not to pass it. Then we take a decision, maybe collectively, sir. So I would propose that let us introduce the bill. We introduce the bill, and then we still have time if amendment is submitted in due course of time, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Stepanson or his parliamentary secretary.
I also rise, Mr. Speaker, sir, to take part on this amendment bill, which is to be introduced today on this floor of the House. I personally feel that the spirit of this amendment brought today is of good intention. I fully agree. Sometimes, or I should say that the manner or the objective of bringing this bill is to ensure that the member hold one post at a time. Sometimes, Mr. Speaker, sir, I feel guilty of holding 12 posts. Sometimes I feel that I'm too greedy. Sometimes I feel that. But the fact remains is that the law permits you, as far as my interpretation is concerned of the law permits you to hold dual post. And we take such kind of decisions at that point of time because of some specific reasons. Now, I am not the only affected person or aggrieved person in this aspect. As already spoken by the leader of the opposition and other members as well, what we feel the matter is sub judice, number one. But the most important thing here is not me. The most important thing here is those people who have elected me. I have received hundreds of calls in this morning. And it shows that I have done something illegal. I have done something illegal, which I could manage to become the member of both the houses, the District Council and the Legislative Assembly. They were confused, in fact. They said, we would like to meet you. I said, cool down, there's no problem. The matter has been brought on the floor of the House. I'll express my feelings, and especially the feelings of those people who have elected me from my constituency. As requested by the other members, that maybe this amendment bill can be referred to the select committee or will come into effect from the date or from the expiry of the term of the 5 years term. You never know, maybe some of us may take a call immediately without this bill also. It depends from one person to another person. And I also have to meet the people of my constituency, even without this bill also, without this amendment bill also. I will take a call. What is the best thing for me to do? As far as the legal matter is concerned, I'm not up to that, to say that I can understand everything in black and white. I have to discuss matter. Yes, the government has taken the legal, consultations. But I feel that from my side, that after being elected on halfway, it is little kind of unjustified or unfair on the part of this amendment bill be passed in this House. So my sincere and earnestly request to you, Mr. Speaker, sir, through you, to the government or the cabinet, which I'm sure that the cabinet has taken the decision, as I've said, in the spirit of making the governance with some sort of responsibility and accountability. Yes, but this matter can be reviewed by the government and take appropriate action. This is my humble submission to you, Mr. Speaker, sir, to the government. Thank you, Mr.
Affected of 2019, because on the time we have filed the nomination paper, the government is allowed. Then we have finished to take oath. But now, the government is not allowed to continue. It's not wise. I request.
So in fact, I don't want to submit anything because I'm afraid that maybe perhaps in the eye of the people I will be seen as a person who opposes the good intention of the government. To come clear with this issue of holding a dual post, I've already done an exercise with my people in the constituency in which I have brought to the notice that I intend to resign as an MDC because the workload for me is too heavy. I understand that I cannot do justice.
Yes.
However, sir, coming to the step taken by the government, again a matter of justice arises. Whether is there any justification for the government to come up with this kind of legislation in the halfway or in the middle part of the term? So, sir, for me, it is only a service. I didn't even draw salary from the district council, so I am not a victim. But the work is too heavy. Since the people gave a pressure, I have to give in to the wish of the people to contest this election. And I am not free also from the social obligations, social duties in the locality that I live in. I was also forced by the people of Light God to take up as the chairman of the Light God Dorbar, in which I have to accept it. So, if there is a proper law, in the beginning, as has been mentioned by my fellow colleague, that we will not be allowed, I'll be the first person who would be very, very happy, so that I can give an excuse to my people that I cannot. Here is a law. But now, I know the people will say that since the law is not allowed, so we don't have a problem. But the people will question why the government is coming with this kind of legislation now. So I agree, I am not against introducing of this bill, but I will only submit to the government. Let this law, legislation that we are supposed to pass, be effected, have a prospective effect rather than retrospective. So it depends on each one of us who might take a different call, as Ba has just mentioned. Because, in fact, I've made up my mind to vacate this seat, because of the workload. So it will be very happy if the House could understand, could be sensible, of the feeling of our colleague. I really see my colleague on my left hand. He couldn't speak anything till he expressed this in the House, and he expects that the House will gracefully accept their submission, sir. So this is my submission, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we have had some discussion about the introduction of this bill, but I could see the members, honorable members participate are not against the spirit of the bill. They even suggested biomedia or some alternative. Number one, they said, why not refer it to the committee and the select committee, and some suggestion, why not? We agree in principle, but allow it to take effect from 2019. So on the end of the discussion, I suggest, sir, since the bill is already introduced by the government, and we allow it to be introduced today, and let the discussion will reveal all the facts and take a decision where the consensus opinion may be arrived at. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I have also gone through the implication of the bill. As far the sub judice part is concerned, I had a discussion with the leader of the House also. And as the leader of the House already stated, that this bill, the government has to brought in the House because of the directive of the Honorable High Court of Meghalaya. And this bill only deals with the legislation part. That's why I agreed that this bill be introduced. I have heard all the members, honorable members, and I have heard their grievances also. As mentioned, let the bill be introduced. I have given the time for a submission of amendment till 4 o'clock. I will extend it to 5 o'clock. Let amendments be there. In the meantime, there may be discussions between the government and the opposition also. And tomorrow when we will take up the bill, let the House decide whether the bill to be passed or the bill to be referred to the Select Committee. So I will now request the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister in charge of Law to kindly introduce the bill.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg leave to introduce the Prevention of Disqualification Members of the Legislative Assembly of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2015, sir.
Thank you. Motion moved. Let me put the question before the House. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the Prevention of Disqualification Members of the Legislative Assembly of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2015. Those who are in favor say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. And the leave to introduce the Prevention of Disqualification Members of the Legislative Assembly of Meghalaya Amendment Bill 2015 is granted. Deputy Chief Minister in charge of Law to introduce the bill, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to introduce the bill, sir.
Commissioner and Secretary to read out the title of the bill.
The Prevention of Disqualification Members of the Legislative Assembly of Amendment Bill 2015 is introduced.
As there is no further business before the House for the day, I adjourn the House till 10 a.m. on Thursday, the 24th September 2015.